Does your license need saving? Do the wise thing. Call Wise Man Lawyers. Does your license need saving? Do the wise thing. Call Wise Man Lawyers. Don't face that court alone. Let the Wise Man team get you back on the road. Does your license need saving? Do the wise thing. Call the Wise Man team at Wise Man Lawyers.
Alright, today I'm at Holland Park Magistrates Court. Client was charged with high range drink driving, a reading of .155, so that's obviously 3 times the legal limit. A few things. He worked as a bit of a handyman / welder, so his need to drive was obviously important to him. And because he's not from Australia, he's a foreign national. He's been here a couple of years. He's not yet a permanent resident, not yet a citizen, but wants to ultimately be. And as you can imagine, when you're trying to convince the Department of Immigration that you're a fit and proper person, high-range drink drivings don't help. So I guess as much as my job was to try to get the disqualification down as low as possible, what I'm getting at with regard to the migration is he held grave concerns with regard to the recording of a conviction, and rightly so. I mean, it's no secret that the migration laws and policies are toughening up, and it's almost as if, if there's any reason to say no to an applicant, they'll use it. And, as I said, high-range drink driving is as good a reason to refuse a immigration application as any. Basically, this occurred over 2 different court dates. The reason being is I asked him to attend a reformatory course prior to the first court date. For whatever reason, he hadn't done it. So I proceeded in any event without that course having been completed. So we entered a plea guilty on the first court date. I started my submissions, and then, as you can imagine, both the prosecutor and the magistrate were resisting my submission that no conviction be recorded. So just going back a step, it was .155 with a collision. So he's come off the road, hit a power pole, spun out, made a mess, and obviously, I should say, fortunately, there was no other vehicles involved in the actual collision. But obviously, if you hit a power pole and your car breaks into pieces over a road, you're disrupting other motorists and causing traffic jams and whatnot. So it was high range, 3 times the limit, .155 with collision with power pole. Basically rode his car off, and here I am trying to convince a magistrate that a person who does that deserves to have no conviction recorded, especially or in a situation where they haven't bothered to do the course that I've asked them to do. So what ended up happening was I pushed it as hard as I could, and then I was able to persuade the magistrate to adjourn the matter part heard so he could actually do the course. So it was adjourned to today's date. In the interim, fortunately, my client did finally get around to doing the course that I asked him to do, which obviously gave me the missing ammunition that I didn't have on the first occasion. I got him to get references. We provide all of our clients a template to guide their referees through who the references are going to be addressed to. So, and the key points that need to be covered. So it can't be to whom it may concern. It's to the presiding magistrate of whatever court you're going to. I know this person. I've known him for so long. I'm aware that he's been charged, and that's why I've been asked for the reference. I mean, there's no point handing a reference to whom it may concern. Jerry's a great bloke, and it makes no mention of the fact that he's been done .155 with a collision with power pole. So there's a number of things that need to be covered in your references that we incorporate into the template. And if you go online and Google Wiseman Lawyers reference template, you can find it, and it's freely downloadable to anyone, whether they engage me or not. But anyway, we give that to him, got him to do the course. There's a form we get all of our clients to fill out that gives me the information I need to prepare my submission. So, all about them as a person, right from basically birth until now, any underlying issues that might have contributed to the foolish decision to drive on the day in question, etc. Anyway, once I had all that information, once I had the police brief that I requested prior to the first court date, I prepared my submissions. I actually, given there was quite a bit of resistance on the recording of a conviction, I drafted pretty comprehensive written submissions of case law. I always do draft written submissions of case law when I'm seeking no conviction recorded, but given the resistance, I had to dig a little bit deeper into the court database to find more cases that were going to help us. Anyway, met the client in court again this morning, rehashed what was going to happen when we went in, but it was, as far as he was concerned, much the same as what happened last time. I had to obviously jog the magistrate's memory because it was, a few months ago since the last court date. Effectively restated my submissions. There was still resistance on the recording of the conviction because, look, the reality is, if you've got a traffic conviction, it's not the end of the world, and it's hard to convince a court that it is the end of the world when the case law and the legislation says that it's not. At the end of the day, a DUI traffic conviction's a traffic conviction. It's not a criminal matter. And when I say traffic conviction, it's to be said in the same sentence as a conviction for a speeding ticket. So, if you get done dangerous driving, that's a criminal matter, and then you're going to have a criminal record if you've got a lawyer that isn't competent enough to get your name conviction recorded. But if you've got a drink driving traffic conviction, it's of no consequence. It won't stop you doing anything, and because it's of no consequence, it's hard to persuade a magistrate that it will be of consequence, because it's common knowledge amongst the judicial system, the police, solicitors, that if someone gets a recorded drink driving conviction, even for high range, it's really not going to, it'll be an inconvenience, but it's not going to be the end of the world, whereas obviously a criminal conviction can end your career or anything else. Anyway, as I said, I spoke at length about the case law, the impact that a recorded conviction would have upon him, and the impact that a lengthy disqualification would have upon him. Just quickly on disqualification, worst case for high range, and high range starts at 0.15, is a lifetime loss of licence. Mandatory minimum 6 months, and you can't get a work licence. The cut-off for a work licence is 0.149. If your reading's 0.15 and above, work licence is not an option. So absolute best case scenario today was only ever going to be a 6-month disqualification with no conviction recorded and a fine. Ultimately, that's what I was successful in achieving. So I was successful in persuading the magistrate, despite quite a lot of resistance from both the magistrate and the prosecutor, to not record a conviction. So there was no conviction recorded, and I was also able to persuade the magistrate to give the mandatory minimum 6-month disqualification and a modest fine. The magistrate was talking about community service given, I'm not going to go into it now, but I had to sort of do some pretty quick tap dancing to talk the magistrate out of giving community service, and I was successful in doing that. So no conviction recorded, mandatory minimum 6-month disqualification, modest fine, clients, as you would expect, extremely happy. I'm Andrew Wiseman. Thanks for watching. Hi, I'm Andrew Wiseman from Wiseman Lawyers, Queensland's only truly dedicated drug, alcohol and traffic offence law firm. If you face loss of licence, loss of vehicle imprisonment or anything in between at any court in Queensland, we can and will help you today. This is our specialty. This is all we do. Give us a call, 1300 947 352. I look forward to helping you resolve your issue today.
Don't face that court alone. Let the wise man team get you back on the road. Does your license need